Good day, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be with you here today. Always is, because you guys are a thrill. And you know, that's what life's about, is each of us enjoying each other. And I just would love to see that on this planet, but who knows? You know, you do the very best. You see such a move toward the destructive side here, but it is freeing for those that see that if you don't get too trapped. I've gotten myself too trapped here and there, you know, with that marketplace sort of syndrome. You know, we were talking about that the other day, how Jesus saw the overtaxation and the ripping off of the populace, you know, and then of course Rome didn't like that because again, a bunch of criminals. So you just see that that's what's happening. But on the spiritual side, it helps to free you up and get you away from this level so your journey can blossom and grow, and you can go on to experience much greater and much more etheric levels of yourself. So it's all good, you know. So I really appreciate you being patient with this. I've just done the DVD we're going to have for how to take all these herbs and why I created them and all that. So that should be available here in about a month, hopefully sooner than that, actually. So that's all shot and done. I just finished it up a few minutes ago, and so we'll get that on DVD as soon as we can there for you. But enjoy herbs. I tell you, the fear around herbs is ridiculous. And here's another one here. Someone gave me this thing. Bananas are not the only fruit. And talks about how bad bananas are and stuff like that. And you run into this crap everywhere all the time out there, you know. And yet I've told you about a 3-doctorate professor, 3 doctorates in Canada who studied the banana all his life, along with many other foods, particularly blueberry and potato. And he considers the banana nature's perfect food. And when you look at that and realize that's the only fruit that really ripens after you pick it, green, then it'll ripen nutritively. Most other fruit just ferment. So there's we just have so many people out there with negative thinking and these sort of things, and have given the fruit the bad rap, and it's too bad. These people probably eat too much protein. So I do want to get to your questions and get you going. Shout out to all of you. Hope you're doing good. Dimitri, my God, and be careful with lymph node 3 glycerins. I mean, we're putting caution on that one. That is way too strong for human consumption, I think. So be careful out there, guys, about ripping it too much. You don't have to rip it. All right. This one is Brianna. Hello, Brianna. This says, hey, Dr. Morris. This is a question. Let's see. Following your detox menu for the bold. Good girl. For 2 months now, high organic fruit with veggies at night. I started this diet to regain health, but my skin has been awful since starting. In fact, right now, I have an awful cold in my head. Perfect, Brianna. That's exactly what you're trying to do. You're trying to create expectoration. Remember, there's only 2 things that life is really involved in: consumption and elimination. And this is true at the cellular level. This is true in your car. This is true in manufacturing. This is true everywhere. If you look at that, it's true with the plants. It's true with the animals. It's true with the humans. It's true everywhere. The world of consuming and the world of elimination. Look at it with the planets, the same thing. The consumption of other planets and stars. And then the explosion and elimination. And this is what you're involved in, is elimination. But what is this telling you, sweetheart, when you see your skin exploding when you're doing this? That is a tall sign that your kidneys are not filtering. And this is a big deal, so check that filtration. Remember that. Pee in a jar and take a look at that. But you really want to get your kidneys filtering, because until they do, your skin sounds like it's taken up the brunt. And this is just built up under the skin, coming out of there. You're pushing all this stuff out of your body. You're in the process of elimination or expectoration. That's what detoxification is. The process of eliminating built up toxemia, whether you call them acids, proteins, whatever you wish, heavy metals, neurotoxins, excitotoxins, doesn't matter. Your body's in the process of cleaning itself. It's saying, thank you, thank you, thank you for the chemistry and everything. Now let me clean myself out. I was just talking about this on this last video about the herbs and stuff. The importance of elimination. And this is just what you're going through, honey. And if you want to slow it down, you can slow it down. But this head cold is perfect. I can tell you, all you guys with head pressure, spinal cord, we talked about that pressure, all this pressure in the head, you want your sinus to break loose, even though you might not feel it. How many people, how many practitioners and medical doctors have checked your lungs? Oh, they're clear. And then a few days later, you have a bronchitis or pneumonia. That's because it's interstitial. You know, so this is important. If you can get a head cold, you're blessed. Let me tell you, let it come out. Let it come forth. Stay on fruit. Get rid of the vegetables while you're doing this and get this out of you, sweetheart, because that's really the best thing that can happen, especially with those that have no hair on their head, especially with Alzheimer's, dementia, eye problems. You want to get these acids that are breaking down tissue, that are swelling the brain. You want to get these out of there because you can't feel better until they do. You know, so really you're doing well, actually. Feels like it's going to explode. Yeah, my skin already has. Your body is going and going after. Your body's following where you're taking it. And you're taking it right down the road to Wellville. Not a pleasant journey, I have to say that. But we put it in there, and we weren't told that. And, of course, we weren't told about genetics either. So we all are working on all these things. And hang in there, sweetheart, because there is that remedy. There is that light at the end of the tunnel there. And you'll breathe better, smell better, taste better after you get through this. And think better, perceive better. So, you know, all this mucus is suppressive. But again, remember why we get it. Dairy products, proteins, abrasive foods to the mucosa. Anytime you eat a meal and you feel mucus after that meal wasn't good for you. It created mucus. Well, it creates mucus in the head. The mucosa explodes. You can just drink milk and start getting a cold and flu-like symptom. And my skin already did, if you know what I mean. Well, it ever get better? Absolutely, honey, absolutely. But I'd push through this. Then you remember that. Remember the kidneys. My question is, what is the perfect diet I can live on for the rest of my life? What you're doing right now, actually. Now, I think, to me, fruit in the morning, a salad at lunch, and fruit at night is a perfect way to live your life. If you go out and cheat, for those that have to have dead tissue, have you some seafood or have you some chicken that's you know, organic and free range and all that. But if you can, keep the dead tissue to a minimum. Better if you could just get away from it at all. Beans, you know, these are dead, these are dormant foods. Hard for the body to break down. But as a cheat, sometimes as a balance, okay. You know, so try to keep your diet 80% raw if you want to live well the rest of your life. But get your kidneys fixed and get your filtration up. Use your eyes to see where you need to work on and get that lymph system up, and you'll be good to go. And, you know, and keep thinking about that in your life. Take periods of time where you dig in a little deeper. You get rid of the vegetables. You go all on fruit. Maybe do a little water fasting, a little lemon juice fasting, grape fasting. Play with that. You know, Harvey Diamond that wrote Fit for Life, he now says detox 2 weeks a year, and outside of that, take digestive enzymes. You see, if man loses his stability in thinking, and that's ridiculous. You know, try to have that passion and joy that raw foods brings you, that fruitarian life brings you, the smile it gives you and all your cells in your body, and how good you feel on that. And take that and let that make a smiley face and joy on your face. And because you'll see the difference vibrationally when you eat all these other different foods. It affects your happiness. It affects your body's wellness and how it feels. And, you know, at first it's difficult because people are used to feeling bad and don't even realize they're feeling bad until you start feeling really, really good. Then you start realizing how bad you really felt. And so then the road can be bumpy because there's the emotional component, the adrenal glands going back and forth. So you do the best you can. No one's over anybody with a bat here, and we're all a team working together here. You know, so we all cheat. I cheat once in a while. So what? You know, no one is over anybody with that, and should not be. We're all working with love and respect and humility. And knowing that we're all in this low consciousness world here that's mundane, that's inorganic, if you can look at it in that way. I mean, just look at the governments and look at what's going on around the world, of how people have to dictate to others, that want to control others. The freedom is being sucked right out of this planet. And so war is going to be the end thing for a long time here. There's no question about it. And that's why you're all so valuable in raising the consciousness. We need to raise the consciousness of the constipated. Look in America. I don't know how it is in other countries. We have a very constipated government right now. They're unhappy and they want everybody else to be unhappy. You know, people forgot to taste the word of freedom and what that means. Let me see. I am questioning whether to include legumes, beans, grains, or cooked potatoes in my diet. I wouldn't until I got myself filtering and my lymph system cleaned, honey. I think you got quite a ways to go yet, so keep going with that. I'd say grains, there's nothing good about a grain. High complex sugars, polysaccharides, so on that sort of thing. I don't think life will be without grains here ever. Beans, very dormant foods, high enzyme inhibitors, high phytic acids, you know, hard to digest, no question about it. Balancing on a cold winter night, perhaps. But some, a little, once in a while of these things. Do bake sweet potatoes, okay. Sweet potato fries if you want, if you're out with somebody in a salad. You know, things like that is acceptable. You know, but again, you have to go with what your body will allow you to do and what's not so bad. All these things are not good at any level. Just a little dabble do you, as they say. Do I need to? No. When I have children someday, can I raise them on fruits and vegetables? If you do, you'll have some of the healthiest, smartest children on the planet. Look at the primates. Some primates live exclusively on fruits, and they're not only smart, they're extremely powerful. But they also won't rip your head off. Give a primate some meat and it'll rip your head off. You know, look at the difference of how these raw foods affect demeanor and the way your happiness is and all this sort of thing. There's nothing good about beans. They're dormant and dead. Grains are high polysaccharide. All these foods that were pushed and touted as health foods are not. Look at the herbivore family. Look at a horse on the prairie. These beautiful wild horses. What's their diet? How can you get so muscular and beautiful just eating grass? See what I'm saying? We're brainwashed at thinking that fruits and berries and melons and vegetables are secondary. These things are primary. These things are where all the magnetics are. These things are where all the nutrition is. No one can prove through physics or chemistry any different. It's just, you can't prove that. And you can't prove cooking improves it. That's all insane. Now, with the beans and things, yeah, you got to break them down. You have to cook them and break them down before they're even digestible. And again, these things are high sulfurs. So they're always gas producing. Sulfur's a fungal proliferant, a lymphatic inhibitor. So I don't like any of these things. People are telling me I have to take B12, seaweed, etc., etc. Well, B12, no. Get your adrenals up. You'll be fine. Seaweed, just really powerful food source. And if you're going after nutrition, then kelp and alfalfa, these are powerful, especially if you're a bodybuilder or something you want to shift to the superfoods. In our superfood blend, I have the kelps and the alfalfa juices and stuff. Just a little dabble do ya is all you need, because life isn't all about nutrition. We're focused on that, and we don't remember that elimination is more than half the battle. And that good, ripe fruits are the power pack of nature and all the nutrition man needs. We just have a fetish with amino acids or proteins, which is ridiculous thinking. When I would rather just eat fruits and vegetables. You're right on, sweetheart. Hope that helped you out. Sorry to rant and rave. This is Monique. Let me see. I think I've watched the videos. Oh, thanks, sweetheart. Anyway, my mom. Robin, age 67, symptoms, hypothyroidism, sinus issues, wakes up during the night, fatigue, bowel movement once a day, low platelet count, anemia, forgetful, but doesn't think so. Had a hip replacement, age 63. All right, she's on thyroxine and was moved to Armour Thyroid. Well, both of these, Armour's a natural T4, but and thyroxin's a natural is a synthetic T3. The problem with that, though, again, thyroxin, she was right on thyroxin. She was on a synthetic T4. It's enough to say that all tissue, including the thyroid, is just a bunch of cells. Now, these cells get their memory patterns from the family. There's no question about that. And if you understand that consciousness or intelligence invades everything, remember, God is omnipresent, omniscient. There is no place it isn't. There is nothing that is unaware, that is unintelligent. It's just that we don't understand that yet. And quantum physics is getting us closer and closer to understanding that magnetic energy has intelligence, meaning that the dark spaces, all life has intelligence. Dark matter, all these things, we are beginning to understand that there is an intelligent driver that drives all things, including cells. And this intelligence can be augmented in creation with the polarization of duality. And we've learned that with the cells, and that chemistry affects magnetics. And looking at it from the most mundane level, chemistry affects magnetics, it affects consciousness and intelligence. And you can look at it the other way around. That energetics, that frequencies limit consciousness, and then chemistry limits frequencies. And it just goes on and on and on both ways this way. So in an understanding that, you can understand that eating cooked dead foods and high proteins acidify the body, which polarizes and takes away consciousness, that lowers consciousness and functionability of a cell. Well, also the swelling that acidosis brings, the mucus from the mucosa that acidosis brings, is highly suppressive to the function of tissue, whether it's the thyroid, parathyroid, pituitary, adrenals, bladder, kidneys, prostates. It doesn't matter. All tissue has the same issue anywhere you go. That's the simplistic of this whole thing that has evaded man's intellectualism. So in understanding that, you have to go in her body and start working on it. What's a connecting link to show you that the lymphatic system in her isn't working? She lost her hip. And on that side, whichever side that is, that's the worst kidney that she has. The kidneys filters the lymph system. Remember that. Right side, right kidney, left side, left kidney. So bye-bye right hip, bye-bye right kidney. So this is why you need to get the kidneys and the adrenals up and get this filtration. You can use the glandulars to inspire. I would much rather see medical doctors get involved in glandulars instead of getting people stuck on hormones and steroids. Because we know the fatal issue that brings. The continual shutdown. And then, of course, the thyroid produces calcitonin, and you're not on that. And then, is it a TSH problem? Is it a pituitary problem affecting the thyroid? So work with the gland tonic that we have. You can work with the thyroid tinctures, or you can get thyroid glandulars. That's better to work with that and get that thyroid up and get away from these hormones. At the same time, fix your body, get these cells healthy, because she's got some problems here. Sinus issues, well, that gives you a thought of maybe pituitary influence on the thyroid, because when your sinus is backed up, what is impacted? Pineal gland. Pituitary, well, she can't sleep. Pineal gland. And you can use a glandular, but at the same time, you want to detox. She's got forgetfulness. She's starting to move toward dementia and Alzheimer's. So when you start moving in these directions, you know what's causing this. Is this a disease affecting me? Oh, it affects all the older people. It's all based on acidosis and your inability or ability to move lymph and to keep inflammation, which is simply acidosis, out of these tissues. It's that simple. And in rebuilding this, it's just the opposite. You get your body filtering lymphatically, and you impress and empower cells to raise up out of their genetic slumber, their genetic thinking, into a higher level of consciousness, because they have the same issue each and every one of us do. Everything here has all these different levels we've taught you, and we teach you in level 1. Understanding how creation is put together, to me, is vital for you practitioners, and understanding how and why these tissues are affected in this way. Low platelet account. Well, I'd get in and detox the spleen, but I have a feeling her colon's involved. If the sinuses are so impacted, you've got to clean up this whole GI tract. Remember the trunk of the tree here, and get those kidneys filtering and get these sinuses drained. You know, you can use 3-lung tea to get the sinuses moving. You can chew on a little horseradish root, not too much. You know, you can do all kinds of things. Neti pot, all kinds of things to do that. But getting your kidneys filtering is really key, essential. Go with the spleen formula. Work on the spleen. If you consider she's got low white blood cells, you might want to get into her bone marrow. But what breaks down bone marrow? What breaks down these tissues? And you're always going to find acids do, and that's of the lymphatic system. Acids are dealt with lymphatically. Blood is more base chemistry. Anemia, same thing. Get those adrenals up so she can start metabolizing iron better. That sort of thing. She has 8 mercury fillings in the process of removing them. Perfect. Has 4 dead teeth and 1 root canal. Again, this is all lymphatics chewing up her gums and teeth here. Had tonsils out as a child, so it shows you automatically when you have your tonsils out, your lymphatic system's backed up, and she's been backed up since she was a child. But in all fairness, most people put you on formulas or milk. And not mama's milk at that. And the mamas that are nursing, they're generally having crappy diets, except you beautiful people that understand the raw foods. So you have to look at all this and why these babies are so much in trouble now. She is blood group B+, which I don't care. Her brother, who died age 58 of leukemia. Look at there. You know what? And that, I want to think of the leukemia and go back to the platelets here. You want to take a look at that spleen and build her spleen up a little bit. Get these platelets up. And if you have to, get on a bone marrow formula. We got a bone marrow formula here, and start working on her bone marrow as well. At the same time, go to causative factors. Go into the lymphatic system and work on that. She's a gene mutation, pyola, all these sort of things. That leaks zinc, blah, 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 blah. You know, I wouldn't even think of that. Eat small amounts of yogurt and milk and black tea. Get rid of that, or she'll never get rid of the sinus. A blood specialist has encouraged her to eat red meat for iron levels. Metabolize iron. Get your iron from your foods and metabolize iron. If you have to do some green drinks of parsley, dandelion greens, spinach. You can, doing liver formulas are full. All the barbarous herbs like the Oregon grapefruit, the burdock, all these are full. Yellow dock, all full of iron. There's organic iron supplements that are the yellow docks and the burdocks, etc., etc. But you've got to metabolize iron, and that comes out of the adrenal glands again. Clean up her liver, clean up her spleen. But all this is indicative of the lymphatic system backed up all through her bowels. She probably has malabsorption and backed up in all these tissues. So you just want to open her up, open all the doors, and eliminate, eliminate, eliminate. It's like Brianna here. Brianna, she's backed up all the way up. Yeah, there you go. So I think that it beats, well, sweetheart, just go after your mom. Let her view this video, because there's no other way to find your wellness out there. And this is the simplest, most direct way. Yes, it requires a changing of attitude and viewpoint. But you must, guys, you must do that. For those that are new, you must change your viewpoint on health and wellness. Get excited about a diet of fruits, berries, and melons, because that's where all your flavors are. If your kitchen is full, like mine, of fruits, berries, and melons and vegetables, the smell is incredible. That's where your good smell and taste comes from. I have to say, I like a big juicy salad. And I like how it tastes. Although the greens, I rarely use on salads. I like all my carrots, my cucumbers, my avocados, my tomatoes. I love all that. My peppers, I love all that. Good stuff. But in a detoxification scenario, that might hold you back a little bit. Just remember that. For those just starting, no. But as you get down the line, if you have deep tissue toxemia, you're going to have to sometime leave them off and just head straightly for the fruits. And just keep working yourself deeper in that way. No one says you have to live that way forever, but you certainly need to get that way to get deep into the body, or there's no getting deep into the body unless you do some water fasting. Bartholomew, thanks so much for all your advice. Thank you, welcome, my friend. After a few months on watermelon and herbs, our pup's tumor disappeared. Good job. Yeah, your pup had watermelon, huh? Interesting. We are so happy. Oh, thanks to you, man. Good job. And here's another case where these guys just detoxified their dog, got the tumor out of their dog. And it's true with people as well. It's not difficult to understand why animals and man suffers. And you just have to take that medical thinking and set it way over there to the side. There's very good points to medical work, surgeries and some things like this, but all in all, guys, they can help us stabilize in hospitals, but emergency medicine, which can really grow with naturopathic thinking, and surgeries, and understanding dietary relationships to all this, the need for surgeries, and then post-surgeries, all this tied together can be an incredible force on this planet. But we have to drop most pharmaceutical thinking. Well, how are you going to drop the insane rich who control all this? Look at how they control the FDA. I'd be ashamed if I was the FDA to have pharmaceutical companies control the thinking of this. I mean, look at this Obamacare in this country. I don't know, but there should be a major lawsuit against the government for creating a monopoly. This one guy that took his boy and trying to save his boy, the child services want to charge him with child neglect. And I think the guy should charge the state of California for deprivation of rights and creating a monopoly out of the medical profession, because other health modalities shows far less hurt. So far, I mean, how can you compare this? Last year, 1 million deaths allopathically. Last year, no deaths homeopathically and no deaths naturopathically. How do you compare those statistics and then tell people they need to take their children to allopathic care? I don't know how you qualify that. How do you, in a court of law, prove that to a jury that's the best way to go? How do you do that? And I think these states need to be sued by these parents who've lost their children, or their children are getting chemo and stuff. My God. Sorry for that, but it's just we're in a sad state on this planet. We're de-evolving. It's like historically we can't get out of that. We have to break the mind a little bit and grow and bring the consciousness up a little bit. But maybe the planet needs to work off karma at these levels. Dr. Morris, could you address a sudden severe head pain during sex or climax? Is it a stroke or aneurysm, or what would you recommend as a remedy? That was funny. This climax is a spastic thing. You spasm the nervous system, and that, of course, can have a reflex spasm all the way to the brain. I would say this: use brain and nerve and upper circulation, definitely. I would also suggest that you check the parathyroid and make sure you're utilizing calcium well, so you can strengthen the myelin sheath. You can strengthen that. The adrenal glands bring that up, so you're getting neurotransmitters to strengthen the nervous system, that sort of thing, and that should help you with that problem there. Check your PSAs, that sort of thing. Is this a male or female? I don't know. But it definitely isn't normal. And I can say that, when you're spasming and you feel that, you could stroke with that. It is possible, I suppose, although we're talking about the nervous system, not the blood system. But again, nerve impacts blood, so sometimes you have to be careful with that. And I would say, strengthen yourself. That's why I like the brain and nerve. The upper circulation, of course, moves oxygen through the body. Strengthen your whole nervous system. Strengthen the adrenal glands. Again, that's the autonomic reaching into these areas. That sort of thing. Clean up the GI tract, because that can reflect to the stomach, back to the cerebellum, and then right out into the frontal lobe here. Yo, this is Scott. Hey, Scott. I'm finally leaving kidney dialysis. I read this, yeah. And transitioning to labor and delivery. Interesting place to be. Seeing those new souls coming in, are we? I'm feeling happy about somewhat emotional. As much as I hate the profitable business part, I still feel like there's still something for me to do. Well, Scott, a healer, and I can tell you that you have the opportunity. I have some good nurse friends who run peds and labor and delivery and stuff, and so they're always working with the parents to help them understand a little better about diet and things. And if you can do that as a nurse and not get in trouble, then I would highly recommend that. Talk about the raw and talk about the importance of that and what milk can do with the mucus and stuff like this, and you can always help in that way. A lot of nurses have the same issue, and even some medical doctors now. Thank God they're coming into this field understanding that how simple this is and that the power this has to helping people get well. Because there's a lot of good-hearted medical doctors that just are frustrated with this. I still feel because there's so much suffering in the world of dialysis. Oh, I know, my God. Well, you know what, Scott? It starts right there where you are in labor and delivery. This is a big deal. This is where they're coming through, and now the kids coming through are in much more trouble than the people going into your dialysis clinic. So you can see that you're right now where the soul's coming into these bodies that are even more compromised genetically. Unless somebody's turning their kidneys around and their adrenals around, it's getting worse and worse by the year. And so you're right in the place. I don't know how you're going to do that, but it'll come to you. God will show you the way, bro. I'll tell you that. But in the meantime, during my transition as a surgical tech in labor and delivery, what valuable advice can you give me to look out for in this department? Again, working on these poor genetics because the kids are coming through so compromised in all levels. Now, neurologically, look at that. That's an obvious. And then, of course, how about hepatically? Liver. So you're starting to see, and we're giving you examples in past videos of where the medical doctors tied this young man's stomach around his esophagus to keep him from throwing up because he couldn't deal with the formulas. On the news, this no kid could only have one formula because none of these are good for you. High fat, high protein is not the way, never has been the way, and has screwed man up. And yet they don't get at that in their head. So Ensure, Pedisure, all this crap out there, my opinions, free right to have my opinions. I mean, you can test it on yourself. You know, get yourself clean and start sucking down some Ensure or Pedisure and show you what's going to happen. See how clogged up you get with mucus. And look at this. It's nasty. It's not living. It's not vital. And that's what we have to turn the attention to living and vital foods as superior foods, not as inferior foods, as superior foods. No man can make a superior food than God. Let's give respect where respect is due to the creator of life. I mean, that's where we should all be in awe. Look around, because we each are a part of that. That's the beauty I see in each and every one of you. And I want to see God in each and every one of you. When I want to see Scott, I want to see God. When you see a baby, you're seeing God manifesting itself in form. So that's why I see the compassion of helping each and every one, because you're helping the Creator to have a grander experience. Because it needs experience. But good work for yourself, Scott. This is Micah? Excuse me. Hi, sweetheart. Thank you, sweetheart. She's happy she found us on YouTube. Excuse me. Do you have any tips on how to get a hooked partner to get interested in this? No. I kind of have a partner like that. She's been raw at times, but has no desire to be raw. Some. And difficult. That's why I've talked about in other videos, it's nice if you can be disciplined to find a partner that's similar in thinking, because sometimes those differences pull people apart, because it's hard to maintain all raw when you're trying to work with your partner, and especially one that likes to go out and eat and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So this is difficult. There's no question about it. So you're up against a difficult challenge. My thinking would be to get strong within yourself, and always be strong with yourself and with your commitment to yourself and your wellness, and just have that partner as a love interest, where that it's not an emotional need or any need to fulfill yourself, because you don't need fulfilled. Whether you're in a female body or a male body, if you look at yourself more as a soul, you're whole. You don't need a soulmate. because there is no such thing. That's a concept of metaphysics, and we do like that polarization of positive and negative. But that's when your steroids and hormones and everything are out of balance. You're having a more male or more female experiences, no matter what your body is. When you become more awake, you lose that male-female difference thing because you're working in the now, and in the now doesn't have duality. There is no male or female. There is no night and day. There is no God and the devil. There's no separation of the one. And so kind of get in that way, I would, and get strong with yourself, and then you'll be able to maintain your individuality and your strength no matter what your partner does. Easier said than done, but and that's part of the experience of the ride, obviously. So do your best, sweetheart. But excellent question, no question. Many of us have this problem. My partner has a little boy, 4 years old. That's pretty cute. He eats mostly pasta, breads, and oat porridge, and stuff like that. Ugh, that's not good. And the problem is as you are growing in your awareness, honey, it's going to tear at you with the little one. Forget the partner, they can do what they want, but the little one, because the little one's got to pay the price in an unconscious way. He's a victim of the way he's being taught. So, yeah, kind of sad that way. These babies, these young children need raw foods, living foods to grow and strengthen from genetics and to grow in their consciousness and understanding, or they become part of the same old world of academics and narcissism and power and control over others. Sad thing. And then the violence levels are unreal here. His dad believes, though, that cooked food contains much more nutrition. You know, that no offense to him, but there's extreme ignorance, because there's no way cooking makes nutrition better. Matter of fact, it destroys nutrition. For there's a lot of us that are chemists and biochemists and blah 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 blah. But I can tell you that chemistry is not chemistry. You have to understand there's organic and there's non-organic chemistry or inorganic chemistry. I like to look at organic chemistry as bonded electrical chemistry. Inorganic chemistry as isolates, more inert chemistry. And you can't prove, and I just was talking about that, you can't prove that cooking improves, because it doesn't. It destroys. And we can prove, even David Wolf has a book, but we've shown this in Kirlian photography for years, the difference magnetically between a raw food and a dead food. Even Secret Life of Plants, Christopher Bird and Tom Tompkins, years ago in their book showed the angstrom difference, or the magnetic difference between a living piece of vegetable, which is about 9,000 units of energy, a fruit about 12,000 units of energy, to its counterpart cooked, which is about 1,000. Then you enter the world of physics, understanding that magnetic energy is everything. And then the law of homeostasis. So if you want energy and you're eating dead foods, that drains your energy, because all life seeks a balance, a flux between the two poles electrically. So when you enter a world of low magnetic energy, it sucks you dry. It's like when you enter a room of lower consciousness people, they start sucking your energy out of you. And that's the thing you have to watch with your partner, that he doesn't suck your energy out of you. That's what these energy suckers do, because they need energy, so they're sucking energy out of people. And they always pick on the blessed ones, those that have energy, because that's where they find energy. And so this is what you see. You see it in government, you see it everywhere. And so you have to be careful about the leeches out there. Protect yourself. And this guy is very, very misinformed. I don't know how to make him understand. You have to spell it out in chemistry and physics. If he doesn't understand, then who knows? Be careful with that relationship. James Roberts. I really love your videos. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I don't know. I'm just here doing them, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate all of you appreciating them, because I appreciate all of you guys. And I think we're all here together in a world that's tough to be in, and that we need to come together with love and respect and humility, and have some fun and enjoy the nectar of the good stuff on the planet, the raw foods and the berries and the fruits, where all the flavors are. and a good robust salad, okay. And get away from the dead foods and the dead animal meats and all the high proteins and the stuff that causes inflammation and pain and pulls the calcium out of you and makes you depressed. Things like that. And hook to those things that make you feel good. Get away from the desires of materiality, always wanting things. These are things. They come and they go, and there's always someone that can steal them from you. But they can't steal you from you. So that's where the happiness needs to come from, is you first. So appreciate you. My name is James 30 from the UK, but currently living in the Nez. I have terribly itchy skin all the time, plus I always wake up in the night around 2 to 5 a.m. needing to urinate. Well, I can't say that I'm at my age, I don't do the same thing. Again, I think as you get older, you see a little more bladder inflammation and kidneys, and that happens. But look at that acidosis in your body again. The itching, of course, just shows that you're backed up subcutaneously, and in other words, in your lymph nodes and things, and under the skin, that you have a lot of fungus in there, and that you don't use the antifungal form like Parasite-M. Get your kidneys filtering, get the adrenals up, James. Start detoxifying your body that way and cleaning this out, getting your kidneys strengthened up, your bladder strengthened up, and you'll see less of that. I also have about 15 lumps. There we go. I also have about 15 lumps all around my body, hard and round. Yeah, well, we don't like that. Now, there are the lipomas or the lipids, the fatty tumors. They generally can be moved around quite a bit. But yours is a little harder, suggesting more lymphatics. And that is a no-no. You don't want that. You don't want to walk down a road like that, because that road doesn't lead to anything good. This is your lymphatic system really backed up, shows your kidney filtration isn't going on there for you, and you want to deal with this, because these tumors and stuff, not good. Even lipoma shows that you're full of acidosis, and you're not, your body's using lipids, so it shows your adrenals are way down. So work on these everything. Get this going, because when they get too hard, they're harder to break loose. So really work on that. Work on your neurolymphatics down your back. Get those kidneys opened up and filtering, James. It's real important here, man. Check your filtration. Check your pee in a jar and look at it. Plus have dry, flaky skin around my eyes, ears, belly button, and genitals. Well, again, yeah, candida for sure, but also just high acidosis, and that's part of the lymph, oozing out your skin and drying like dandruff and stuff. It just shows high acidosis. Of course, in that, obviously, fungal issues, no question. When I was younger, I was on antibiotics. There you go. He was on antibiotics for over a year for acne. So right there, you're back to showing you that you weren't filtering back then as a young man, and that you need to address that now and get that done, because nothing good ever comes. Prostatitis keeps creeping up. You start working yourself toward tumors and more cancer thinking and stuff like that. No. We don't want to go that way. So yeah, now's the time. And of course, with the antibiotic use for over a year, they created heavy fungus in you. So, look at your eyes. See if you have sulfur in the eyes. Get in that GI broom, clean your gut, get your kidneys filtering, start opening your body up, cleaning it up, man. And you'll get that out of there. And he was 13 years old when they were doing this to him. Then 2 years ago, I started getting staph infections. Well, I see you're just full of it anyway. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody has staph and strep in them, but it's just that your lymph is now showing you that my sewer system is full. I runneth over with sewage, and that's what's going on, James. And it's just the bacterium is just trying to help you, but you really need filtration. That's the key. Or you'll see what they call infections all over the place. But it's just lack of filtration through the kidneys and maybe even through the skin here. In total, which normal antibiotics could not treat, so I had IV antibiotics. Oh my God! Well, this is another medical doctor ridiculous stupidity here, and lack of understanding of toxemia. Even though medical doctors from the 1800s were putting it in their face, they chose not to look and they chose not to listen. So what do you get? And this is what we've got. We got an out-of-control medical monopoly that has no concept of reality and truth, except for those medical doctors that have a higher state of consciousness, and there's a lot of them out there. And they're growing, and they're understanding more, and they're working with this. But I can say that the same thing's happening naturopathically. It's not just medical. There's a lot of naturopaths that just haven't got much going on up here. And we just need to open this whole thing up and realize the simplicity of wellness and the simplicity of how we got here. It can be very intellectual, but don't make it that way. Keep it simple, sweetheart, and open up these doors. And that's just all you have to do to get your wellness. I haven't had any staff for 9 months because you killed all your bacteria in your body. You need bacteria, bro, or your lymph nodes are going to stay hard and tight and not going to filter well. This is not good. I also suffer from bad anxiety. Well, there you go, and mild depression. So, mild depression, parathyroid, but then again, you're all backed up here. Adrenals, that makes total sense to me. Your adrenals are in a bad state, my friend. Get those adrenals up. Even if you have to use glandulars, get those adrenals up. They control the kidneys anyway, so get those kidneys and adrenals up and going. That's where your problem lies. Fix those, and then systemically, your whole body can start draining, and you can start getting out of all this inflammatory, calcium-losing type of syndrome. And might pop up parathyroid a little bit, too. I know this isn't as serious as a lot of other questions. No, James. It's very serious. A very good question and very serious question. Don't sell yourself short, my friend. This is important, and you are serious. You need to fix this. This is a serious problem. So don't sell yourself short. You're a good guy. I also would love to buy some of your herbs, but the email address seems not to work. Well, call in the clinic. We're going through a whole new process. Get on the website. You can get on our website and look at it. And if you need to ship to New Zealand, we ship to New Zealand all the time. I love to you, James, but I'm going to tell you, if you can't get on the email, get on the website. That's where all of it is. Or then call in the clinic. They'll send you stuff. But no, don't sell yourself short. You got some stuff to work on, my friend. This is Melvin Henderson. I have been plagued with bad breath for what seemed like forever. I have tried every remedy on the planet and nothing seems to work. I have tried juicing, herbs, everything. Please give me some advice on what to do. Parodontics have been no help. Well, one's mouth is just part of the GI tract. You know, it's just part of your bowels, basically. This is all just one big tube starting here down. So when you have bad breath, those are proteins. And you've just had too much proteins you hadn't been able to eliminate. So again, I'd get on the GI broom, my friend. Get on the bowel formulas, the GI broom. Get my kidneys filtering. Get your lymph system moving. This is where all these proteins are stored. I don't know how your underarm stinks, but you know, this is all part of that same syndrome because that's the only way. Get on a lot of fruit. Get away from all these other foods. Get away from all proteins. Start detoxifying. Get in there deeper. Use the stomach and bowel, the lymphatic herbs on your bowels. Get the GI broom. Start really pulling and cleaning on that. Interstitially, meaning the lymph system, get your kidneys filtering, get your adrenals up, and all that nasty, your tongue will coat and get real coated in your mouth for a while, but then start, wash your mouth out with some grape juice or whatever, but start putting a lot of grapes and lemons down that GI tract and start cleaning and cleaning because these are acids. We call them proteins, but these are acids in the form of proteins, and they're putrescent is why you stink. Clean that gut up deeper, and that's you haven't got in deep enough to clean that. And you want to have a sweet smelling breath. You want to have smell just like the food you're eating. And when you do, you know you got there. So yeah, this is important too. You want to clean your bowels out. Real important because you'll start breaking them down. So go forth, Mel, and conquer, Melvin. This is Parker. Is that the Go Rush, Parker? Going blind in both eyes. Holy crap. Hello, Dr. Morris. Hello, Joanne. Or Joan. My sister-in-law is going blind in both eyes. Oh, my God. She is already blind in one eye, and the second eye has limited vision. Do you think that something can be done to restore her vision? She does have diabetes. Absolutely. Okay. So listen, if you look at the eyes, they actually go back and ties into the cerebellum and ties into the parasympathetic, and it's all tied together. And that's why, because diabetes is what gland is going down in her? The adrenal glands. And therefore you see the neuropathies because neurotransmitters go down, your steroids are going down, too much carbon creates acidosis. I mean, you see this whole syndrome going on there with everyone, and in particular her. So here's the thing. You want to fix this diabetes. Remember, that's just a name for sugar metabolism problems. So you got to get her kidneys and adrenals functioning properly. That'll get her sugar metabolism in line. That'll also help to rebuild the myelin sheath through the neurotransmitter side. The steroid handles the sugar metabolism. The neurotransmitters shores up the autonomic nervous system. At the same time, if it was me, I would do upper circuit brain and nerve. I would do the eye wash. Matter of fact, we actually have a Visioplex in here. It's another company, but it has raw eye tissue in there. And I'd go aggressively. At the same time, her lymph system's going to be a mess with this burning and breaking down eye tissue and nerve tissue in the brain. So you really want to teach your sister-in-law and get her in a deep detoxification. Let her view these videos because there is always help. You can always restore vision. You can always restore taste and smell. You get hearing. All these things are all acidosis, suppression, swelling, or the breakdown of the cells themselves. And they can all be rebuilt. But you must get into that body and detoxify it. That's why detoxification is that golden key. It's a golden key that unlocks the door to cell restoration, cell regeneration, because that's what we're after. We're after rebuilding the memory patterns of our cells and the functionability of those cells, whether they're nerve cells, endocrine gland cells, it does not matter. So it's real simple when you understand the lymphatic system and acids and that effect upon tissue. It's real easy to understand what she has to do to conquer this. But conquer her other problems with that, and that is her sugar metabolism problems. And that'll bring all chemistry into balance. Clean out her bowels. It all reaches up here. Clean her sinuses out. All these things, and restore the function of the nervous system. And she'll be well. You'll fix her up, Joan. Thanks. Baka baka. There's another James Jack, alopecia. Hi, friend. Thank you so much for the amazing, oh, thanks, man. I'm just a country boy here, and I tell you, it's just we all are where we're at. And if we can all grow in our awareness, you guys, like I've said before, are going to take all of this and you're going to perfect it. And you're going to really bring this planet into a simplistic understanding. Keep life simple. You see what it's done to our monetary system. You see what it's done to the health of the people. It has destroyed both. For what purpose? Nothing. It's lost. The medical thinking is lost. We must understand the simplicity of nature, the simplicity of God, the simplicity of life, and return to that. And you'll find happiness, joy again, and wellness returning. So move yourself to Wellville, guys. Get out of this Hellville. And again, what takes off hair? Acidosis. And if you're thinking about genetics, rebuild cell thinking. But remember, it's always what takes it off. Always think of acids, think of chemotherapy, think of the lymph system, the cleaning up the GI tract, that tree, and get the kidneys filtering. That's the only way you can clean it up anyway, and go down that way. Let me see here. If I missed you talk about this already, I apologize. Yeah, I've talked about it quite a bit, but that's okay. It never helps to go over things again because we have new visitors all the time, and people want to know, There's a lot of videos out there, hard to go through, and we haven't categorized the earlier ones. Thank God to our friend that's contexted him somewhat. I love that guy. He's such a great guy. My question is about alopecia. I've had this condition off and on since my early 20s, and he's 43 now, and this is the thing. You're seeing, and I've said this before in other videos, there's so much balding now, it's scary. And then, you're just seeing everything now. Everything. And the problem is, not in the 50-year-olds, not in the 60-year-olds, you're seeing it in the teens and 20s. And that's just my point. And my point also about moving into working in peds and working in child and labor. My God. Labor and delivery. I mean, this is where these souls coming into these bodies, and the parents do not understand. There's so much ignorance out there, and I don't know. It's just the nature of life. but we have a continual suppression of knowledge and information. I'm going to tell you, there's a real battle between the positive and negative forces at higher levels than man understands. And people are being channels for these. And I'm saying you all be channels, if anything, for the positive higher forces of consciousness, as opposed to these negative power and control type consciousness. And that I think I know what's good for mankind thinking. At present, I have several large spots, hair loss on my scalp. It's very embarrassing. So upper circuit, brain and nerve. Upper circuit always. Get that blood flowing up there. But at the same time, you got to move lymph. You got to get your sinuses drained, even though you don't feel that, and get your bowels. Take a picture of your eyes. Take a look at that. You guys use that iridology. The tool is a blessed tool. It is incredible. Jensen did an incredible amount of work with there. I loved that guy. And he very spiritual guy. He knew what was up. He really knew, and he had a common sense understanding. And that's why we became friends. We looked at each other and said, we both have some common sense. And so, really, that was really important to understand that. I've taken many of your herbs in the past, and I've felt great on them, but I'm not sure exactly what I should be focusing on. Well, keep focusing on your lymph system. Definitely keep focusing on upper circuit until you see new hair growth. Very important. But at the same time, you got to fix why you're not getting it. Pee in a jar. Make sure you're filtering. Clean up that GI tract. Use the GI brooms. Really start cleaning that body out deeper and deeper and deeper until you see a good head of hair. And now you're getting it. So keep going in that way, James. This is John. I am due to go to Uganda for missionary work in a few months. Boy, there's a lot of need over there. And have been advised to have a yellow fever vaccination. That's the problem with traveling. The scary problem with traveling. But I'll say this, if you gotta, you gotta. But at the same time, clean your body out so nothing sticks. Because really, this is about culturing medium, and they don't get that. Hard to explain that to our governments right now, because we need to become more the masses. And we just keep growing, and I'm so proud of each and every one of you for helping others, because this is how we make a difference in this world. But this is so much about culturing medium. It's so important. Fox News had this nutritionist on there, I guess you'd call her that, and she had this medical doctor. It's a typical Fox analysis, and then she brought in a naturopath to get the opposing view of vaccinations. She should have got this medical Dr. Penny, who did a whole video on vaccinations. She brought a naturopath that didn't understand vaccinations too much, just that she didn't feel that children should have them. And of course, something came on about Obama or something and interrupted them. But he was taken off of how, since inoculations, the blue flag has been eliminated and all that. What wasn't brought out is that towns were using creeks around for sewer systems, and that the conditions cleaned up. This is about culturing medium. He didn't also bring out that what vaccinations have suppressed and what it's created, and the fact that when the inoculation for polio came in, polio actually went up 680%. We didn't get rid of polio. We still create polio through inoculations. Let me tell you. Then they changed a lot of the symptoms of polio to meningitis. I think it's Wallach or one of the books, Emerging Virus. Great book on that. And get someone that's had a lot of experience in understanding that if you're going to go up against a medical doctor who thought that the world of inoculation eliminated all these plagues and everything. You have to take a deeper look at what really is going on there. This is the last thing I want to be pumped into my vascular system. I know it. And all I can say is clean. Clean the lymphatic system, clean it out. You won't get caught with that. You're going to keep cleaning anyway because you don't want to. Because malaria and all these things are real in a toxic environment. Remember, this is all about your culturing medium, the terrain, if you will, within the human body. And where's your sewer department? That's your lymphatic system. So that's what man is dealing with, is a very bad sewer system. And over in some of these countries where they don't get any fresh foods and they don't eat well, their bodies are horrible. They're full of meat proteins, full of starch and malnutrition. The sad state of this world. Horrible. Is there anything else which could help me in this case? Parasite M, Parasite G, always take that on your trip. I would take Parasite M, Parasite G, lymphatic and kidneys, and adrenals. There's 5 right there. It wouldn't hurt to take a bowel formula with that, and take 6 formulas with you. Then you'll never have a problem. Thank you for, thanks, John. Love you. Peace and love to you too, man. I know, that's why I don't like to travel too much anymore. Well, I can't pronounce your name, but appreciate the question. It's on toothpaste. It's Vidoje. Appreciate that. What kind of toothpaste should we use? And I brought this up before. We sell one that is basically bicarbonate, baking soda without aluminum, and cinnamon. And you can use other things like cherry or whatever in there. I like a little white oak bark, like a astringent cleanser, you know. Your best teeth cleaning is on a raw food diet, actually. Keeps your teeth nice and clean, your gums nice and restored. If you got a brush, then use your bicarbonates with a little, cinnamon, a little tea tree oil in there. I mean, you can have a nice little toothpaste there. I like a powder, though, because when you start getting into liquids, you start having to change the nature of what you put in these toothpastes. I'm using a standard brand without fluorine in it. I am about to use one which contains hydrated Redmond clay, okay, and added xylitol. Yeah, I don't know why people add xylitol. Who cares? Add a little cinnamon, cherry pepper, or cherry juice, essential oils, and real salt. You could. I don't know why they put the real salt, but it's okay. You know, it's a good minerals in there. Sure, absolutely. But a good raw diet, remember, that keeps your teeth clean. You know, your starches is what's glue, and your beans and proteins and things like that. Proteins don't digest in the mouth, and they'll stay in the mouth as long as you don't clean them out. Do vegetables. Yeah, and you have any idea on toothpaste made from fruit, oils, and vegetables. Just eating them keeps your teeth clean. Absolutely. And your astringents like lemons and oranges and grapefruit, they keep your mouth clean, absolutely, and refresh. But when you've got that bad odor in that mouth, that's subcutaneous, that's in the tissues there, that's high acidosis, high protein, so you got to detoxify your body out there. This is from Brandon. Hey, Brandon. My girlfriend is about 50 to 60% raw on most fruits. That's good. The other 40 or so percent she eats cooked foods such as bread, beans, and potatoes. Well, at least she's 50 to 60% raw, right? I gave her the health questionnaire from your book, the Miracle Detox Source book, and found out a lot of her weaknesses. Those questionnaires, I hope you appreciate that, and you can even add to them. I haven't taken time to even add to that through the years, but that's how you see yourself. All these questions we try to put under the appropriate areas of your body so that if you have a symptom, you see what part of your body's suffering. But keep it even more simple and realize that when these areas are suffering, they're suffering more from lymphatic problems than any other problems in that area. But notice that the lymphatic is systemic. However, you're going to notice your weak areas first. Your genetically weak areas are where you're going to have your problems first. And also examine her eyes. See, you guys, Brandon, all you guys, I just love you guys. You're learning how to identify through the eyes, the body. Isn't that nice? I mean, you guys are making incredible healers. Don't feel that you have to have an academic list a mile long. So what if you can't pronounce words this long? Let those narcissistic people wallow in their own selfness, their own egos, because it'll not serve them well. Karmatically and every other way. Keep your life simple and help others in a simplistic way, because you'll help more people. Most people are more simple in their ways, which is better. They're more godly in that way. The intellectual has a harder time entering the worlds of consciousness than those that are the simple. Let me tell you. Sometimes you get too smart for your britches, as they say. So just Brandon here is a good example of you guys. A look in the eyes, you can see what's going on with your person. You know how to get them well. 5 thumbs up. I've learned a lot from all your past videos, but I wanted your advice on how to strengthen her body and weaknesses. For the past year, she has been on some anti-anxiety medication. So immediately the adrenals. So immediately you know that connects to the kidneys. So immediately you know then from there that the lymphs are down. So immediately you know that acidosis or inflammation is all through at one level or another. And then whatever tissues are making themselves known. Such as Prozac. I'm trying to encourage her to get off the medication, and she wants to eat completely raw but is struggling. Well, emotionally she would be. So strengthen those adrenals, use a glandular on her, and get those kidneys filtering. And as you're working with that, she'll get stronger, and she'll want to do more raw. She'll have more self-control, because when you're weak emotionally, you're kind of like a leaf blowing in the wind. So by strengthening, a person gets strong within themselves, and that's what you're looking for, because it's good to be with strong people. You know, two people together are good when each one is strong, and self-love, where they each taking care of themselves, and that makes for good relationships. Her blood pressure is about 80. I need a drink. Get this, guys. Her blood pressure is 88/40. That's serious. That is serious. 40, that's serious. That's seriously weak kidneys. And 88, very low adrenal glands. So I would get the kidney glandular, the adrenal glandular, and then I'd get the kidney tinctures and the lymphatic tinctures, and I'd go hard into this woman, because she is a poor thing. 88 blood pressure on systolic. No wonder she's on anti-anxiety medications, and I can't imagine where she gets the energy to have life. I hope the thyroid's pumping well, because I can tell you her blood pressure is so low here that makes for chronic fatigue, unhappiness, no desire to do anything, and 40 is you're losing your kidneys big time. I check her creatinine for sure. So I figure it's definitely chronic adrenal weakness and chronic kidney weakness. You need to have some pressure. You need to have good kidneys. You need to have 58 to 65 at least in the kidney pressure. That's the diastolic. Or you got weak kidneys. And 40, that's not good at all. She also had depression. Here's the parathyroid. So all her endos are down. I'd go up to that pituitary. I'd get her on the gland tonic. I'd take a look at that pituitary. Look at her eyes again, Brandon, and look at that parathyroid. Also that thyroid. But then look at that pituitary and see if that's not a big involvement here. Or has in the recent past, and she gets migraines from time to time. Again, clean up this whole GI tract here. Big time. Clean up her stomach and bowels there. Pull all this inflammation out of her head. Get her endocrine glands back online again, because they're down. And they're only down because of her lymph system. Well, that goes back into genetics of the adrenals, genetics of the kidneys, and that shows you right in your blood pressures right here that's what she's dealing with. Right? Proof is right there in front of you, right there. Her symptoms are spelling out totally what's going on with her. Totally. And that's what they do. That's why you can learn by people's symptoms what's going on in them. To fix them is the same. It's the same. I mean, you might take a different glandular for different things, but the basic causative factors are the same amongst all humans and all animals. There's very little differences. So go into those kidneys and adrenals, like the guy's got the tumor out of his dog there. Went after the kidneys, went after that lymph system again. And may have spine weakness or a very mild scoliosis. Well, that's obvious, and L4, L5 is always going to be a problem in her. With kidneys that weak, she's going to lose her L4 and L5 lower back, and then it's going obviously one side's going to be weaker than another. Check her other blood pressure on her other side, and you'll see which side she's pulling to. It seems she has blue eyes, but all I can see is mostly brown. Brown around her pupil. Chronic bowels, absolutely. Good take, Brennan. Now, that also means a high possibility or probability of pituitary. Really does. And so then you see the suppression of the parathyroid, giving her depression. Well, that's calcium utilization. That's going to affect all kinds of things, and skeletal systems, of course, connective tissue, and then, of course, the myelin sheaths and all that as well. And then her adrenals are way down. So, yeah, I can see that. Get on the GI group. Start going after her aggressively. And little green elsewhere. What would you recommend as far as normal formulas? That's what I'd recommend. Go into that dewormer on that basic kit, and then use the kits and go into the 2 kidneys, two lymphatics, and really start moving her out. Get her on the GI broom, start pulling that. I would probably definitely do the adrenal 400s if it was me. I would do 1 to 2, 3 times a day if it was me. I'd probably start with the pituitary and do 1 twice a day for 1 bottle, and then I would jump to the thyroid and parathyroid and do 1 bottle of each of those. And then I'd move her into the gland tonic. At the same time, I'm cleaning up that gut. I'm getting those those kidneys filtering. I'm getting everything going in that way. And go after that way and you'll get her. Clean out also the fungus out of her too, by the way. Thank you for my Skype consultation recently. Thank you, Monica. I am currently plodding along with raw foods for over 2.5 years now. I'm on my own made herbal blends for my protocol. Yeah. I mean, herbs are to have fun with. And that I just love that. You have fun with herbs and you enjoy the beauty of them. I mean, Yaz, look at what you're doing down in Thailand. And look at you're regrowing your enamel, my God. I mean, this is the beauty of deep tissue work. And I'm just so proud of all of you. You guys will take this deeper than I had a chance to. I can see that already, and I'm just enjoying this totally because now the potential of this level of awareness can have an upliftment to it, and a lot of suffering people can have some good times here. For making costs cheaper, I don't blame you. And glandulars, generally speaking. Whilst there is a great improvement in my health, I still have lots of work to do on myself and specifically come off of antipsychotic medication. Well, again, remember the endocrine glands. Get yourself work yourself into a gland tonic. Always remember to get those bowels cleaned up so the pituitary and sinuses can clean so you can pituitary control the other endocrine glands. Get after those adrenals, always and everyone, you know that. You know, keep working on those and keep building on those. And you just little bit. Remember, this isn't and I'm done with this. This is a process to get well. This concept of treatment has led us down a wrong thinking, false thinking. And so we think they're just something that's going to help us. This is all a process, a tremendous growth process of cleaning and repairing and opening and letting go and enjoying and being happy. This is a total holistic process that we're going through to get to that Wellville, to get to ecstasy and bliss, the things that are naturally there for you to experience. You know, it's all there for you. It's working yourself to these levels. And the enjoyment of doing that, even if you have to go through the ups and downs. I've been there myself. I've taken myself bad roads. Someday I'll sit down and I know they're going to do a documentary, and maybe I'll get into some of why I went down different roads. You know, it's just how we're unconscious, and at the time what comes into our world and how we react to that and what we do with that. And you know, there's no blame to anyone. No one's better than another. Keep working on yourself, you know. So keep working on yourself emotionally. Keep working on those adrenals. You know, you're emotional. This is an emotional time. And everything is coming out violent this and violent that. Look at that poor lady that had, man, at the White House where they had to kill her, obviously. I mean, here's a bunch of macho guys with their big guns, and here's one lady in a car. I mean, come on. You know, you don't have to kill her. But okay. But what was wrong with her? I haven't seen the whole story yet today. I was interested in her, but I heard her mother said she had postpartum depression. Oh my gosh, she's probably on antipsychotics, antidepressants, and that sent her over the top. Let's look at why these people are going off. Not just the government is making people angry. That's a given. That's what they don't get. But you put that on top of someone that has been treated with antipsychotics. They haven't been helped. They haven't, the medical and the psychiatrists have not understood what systems are down, what's causing these problems so they can fix those things. And this poor lady had the baby, obviously. Now she, you know, the poor baby probably doesn't have her mama if that was her mama. I mean, it makes me sick to how we look at that. And the guys marching with their big AKs and ARs, and it's like, oh my God. The fear that our lawmakers have is just because they're making bad laws. They're messing with the people's and their freedoms. So obviously they're going to have problems coming. The World Bank is behind the power of all this. Guys, you're walking down a bad road here. But you know what? These people can be helped. She should have been helped. And she could have been helped. Shoot her tires out. You could have got her, you big macho guys. You know, and take care of her. And this is what's happening. People are going off their rockers. Sad stuff. And then we have all these movies on war and videos on killing all these people. No big deal, huh? Yeah, I know I get off on a tangent here. So really I have to make the decision about when to really get off this drug. Yeah, you know what? And titrate. If you're on medications, antipsychotic medications, and you feel like they're stabilizing you, titrate, meaning go off slow while you empower yourself with the goodies, with the energy and the magnetics and the glandulars to empower your glands, and get off slowly with this. Connect to your inner self, that away from your body. Don't get away from body consciousness. Don't let your body dictate your experience. Don't let your mind dictate your experience. Don't let your emotions dictate your experience. Become strong in the self, into the now. And that's why I try to bring you guys into that ever-present allness of the present moment, because there you can override these things in consciousness. You know, I know it's tough, but the strong survive and have the ecstasy of the higher realms. The weak keep enjoying the slaughter of this level. Yeah, I know there's a strong gut-brain correlation with mental illness, but don't assign labels to yourselves either, guys. That's another thing. Do not assign, and that's the one thing I always hated about medical thinking. You got 6 months to live. Bull hockey. You got mental illness, or you got this, or you got that. They slap these labels on you, and some people wear them like a suit of armor. You've seen that on YouTube, where some people, they couldn't get well despite themselves, because they wear these labels like they're proud of them. It's like, excuse me? Get these labels away from yourselves. Realize your body's just a bunch of cells and 2 major fluids. And go after that level of thinking and you'll get well there. But there's the emotional karma. There's the mind you have to learn how to control as well. Certain foods irritate the mind. Certain foods get the emotions going. So you see how fruits and berries and melons keep you peaceful and joyful and loving. It quiets the mind. It soothes the emotions. Pulls the agitation of acids out of the body. Even the vegetables make you strong. So a diet and a lifestyle of these will make you good and strong. So keep going down that way, dear one, and keep pushing yourself and pulling yourself into that allness and that wellvilleness. Yeah, I know. You keep working yourself off of this, sweetheart. That's all I can say. And thank you so much, Monica. Thank you. How are we doing on time? This is going to be another long video. I hope you guys don't get too upset about that. I'm way far behind, but I'm preparing for the class, and like I said, we're taping this class, and I'm going to make this a butt-kicking class. Let me see here. Oh, here's one. This is Dot. Hi, Dot. Thank you for loving our videos. I hope so, because I love you guys, and I appreciate you taking your time, your precious time, to view them and helping yourselves, because hopefully they'll lead you into that allness of wellness and vitality and happiness and joy. And that's what this is all about. You know, not everything's perfect under the sun, so okay, you know, you keep working it out. You work through these things. If you cheat, you cheat. You pull yourself back. You keep working yourself down the road. I'm up to level 4 on the Fab 4. My skin is burning and itching. Oh, good sign, right? Yep. Cat that kidney. Look at the kidneys. If your kidneys aren't filtering, slow up on the lymph, increase the kidneys. And maybe even try a lemon juice fast to try to get these kidneys opened up. You know, strong astringents. And also try the GI room. Strong pull on the bowels. Anything to open those doors up for yourselves. You know, that's the key there. And it just takes a while. Still, kidney still not filtering. More lemon juice, right? You guys, you're too smart. That's what I love about you guys. You're getting so smart. And that's what it takes. You know, detox is an art, and you guys are becoming the artists. The artfulness of moving the body through these difficult times, because people are really down the road here. It's obvious. 20-year-old alopecias, 20-year-old Alzheimer's, 20-year-old cancers, teenage cancers. Oh my God, there's one cancer we were talking about earlier in there with you. By the age 15, 2 cancers. Holy crap. So you guys are so important, not just to yourselves, to the whole experience of others. You guys hold the key of wellness to this world. Remember that. And be free to give it out too. Don't be shy. Those who give, get. I have cut down half dosage of Synthroid. Good job. Keep working on the glandulars now. Think about the pituitary. Get your adrenals up. Temperature hovering a high 97s. Good job. Good job. Keep moving that down. Keep moving off the Synthroid. Keep those glandulars. See if it holds. See if it holds. One day it'll hold there and you'll be good. Keep detoxing that lymph. Get the inflammation out. Get the pituitary in line. Everything good and everything will hold. Oh, that's good. Perfect place to be. Should temperature, you're right in the perfect temperatures right there. I am high 97s, low 98s, perfect basal temperatures. I am presently helping a friend that lost a half kidney due to cancer. Look at the kidneys again. Kidneys everywhere. Kidneys, kidneys, kidneys. On lots of meds. Encouraging her to clean out the kitchen and eating the fruits. Exactly how she restores the other part of her kidney. Let that kidney regenerate itself. Get a kidney glandular. Help inspire those kidney cells to regenerate themselves. Get all that acid out that's breaking them down. And get those adrenals up so the steroids will love and kiss the kidneys, and then the body can start draining its lymph system. Good job, Doc. All right, let's just do one or two more here, and then I think I'll cut on this video because we don't want it too long. This is Sal. Hello, Sal. Dr. Morse, I've recently purchased a Detox Kit 1 from your pharmacy. I wanted to ask you about... Babesia and Bartonella, both are parasites. Oh, from ticks. Oh, and I was wondering if detoxing alone would get rid of these. Absolutely. Remember this too, you know, whether they're virals or bacteriums or whatever, everything is blamed on ticks and things like this. But you know what? Go back to culturing mediums again. Go back to the internal environment that you have in terms of your sewer system. Easy to clean the blood up of these things, but the sewer system, the lymph system, and that's interstitial. So that's a mucosa. So these things grow in the mucosa. They become in the mucus because they're breaking down the mucus, the bacterium. That's their job. So yeah, good job. I came across the site of an herbalist named Stephen, and he has a different protocol for each using something called Japanese knotweed. I've never used that, but sounds good. Let me know about that. Might add that to my formulas. I don't know. Along with some other herbs. Yeah, parasite M&G, but remember culturing medium. Remember this. Go after the culturing medium, your terrain, which is your sewer system. Get that cleaned out. So you're not culturing these babies, and your immune system and bacterium can end these issues, and you can detox them right out. Okay. Gosh, I got so much here to go over with. Holy moly. Let me see. One more. I'm bad. Angela, hi Dr. Morse. I've been a raw vegetarian, completely raw for 2 years, and the last year more fruit than like you suggest. Good girl. I have only been having a small amount of avocado per day, approximately 1/4 per day. I have at least one a day myself now. My question is, what is your opinion on the omega-3 theory, and do you need it? Well, I think first, before you can ask these, all foods have fatty acids in them, but what I'll say organ perhaps we could go to when we're looking at fats and fat metabolism. We're really going to the liver and gallbladder. So you want to get your adrenals up, you want to get your pancreas cleaned out, your liver gallbladder cleaned out, you want to eat just foods with high fatty acids if you like that. I think it's not about more of fatty acids, more of amino acids, more of sugars, because we found when we do those things, we get sick. I think it's about metabolizing and utilizing what we do consume. And I think that malabsorption must be considered. I think that inflammation in the gallbladder and liver has to be considered when we're talking about omegas and things like this. Because man isn't meant to have fish oils. Because then, we take a look at all these things. Fatty acids. Now, where we find fat metabolism problems, you tend to find neurological problems. So I recommend evening primrose oil, flaxseed. You can supplement those if you like. I'm not really in the treatment-based, thinking like that. But I have recommended 3, 6, and 9s before. And like I say, neurological cases like MS and Lou Gehrig's and Parkinson's. But it's really not up my alley in terms of treatment, because you see that when you take your body into Wellville, All you need to do is start eating the fruits and berries and melons and the vegetables, including the avocados, and start cleaning out the systems, getting your body's filtering, and then there is no deficiencies, there is nothing, because you've fixed digestion, you fixed absorption, you fixed utilization, and then you fixed elimination. And we're finding that we have to go to elimination to start fixing all these first three. So the four processes that your body needs to go through, remember those: digestion, pancreas, upper GI tract, stomach, liver, gallbladder; absorption, lymphatic system and small bowel and colon; utilization, hormones and steroids, glands, adrenals primarily; elimination, kidneys, skin, GI tract. So you've got these things to always focus on to get to Wellville, because if those things or any of those ones aren't working, Wellville's a struggle. And so you just keep working down that road and you'll get there. Absolutely. The only thing I cannot let go of is the omega fish oil. I don't care. You know, do what you want with that, or the quill. I don't care. But you'll find that when you restore vitality to the cells, you won't need that. I have been brainwashed bad on the omega-3 theory, and well, don't worry about it. Please, can you tell me whether we do need it? No. No, not at all. You don't see it in the jungles. You don't see it in the primates. I mean, where man is taking himself so far down the line that we've grabbed to these treatment-based thinking concepts because we're looking for symptom remedies. And you have to realize you're going back to the cell and back to what is damaged and mutated the consciousness of the cells and the terrain which cells are living in, and then the nutritional input that they get. And you're doing that. You're moving yourself away from dead tissue and putrefaction. You're getting away from acidosis. You're getting your body filtering and cleaning. So you're restoring the functionability of cells, their environment, and uplifting their consciousness. And you'll find that your foods will supply that. Again, yes. We have inferior foods, inferior soils, blah, 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 blah. But I will say that man needs very little nutrition. I think there's much ado about nutrition that doesn't need to be ado in our field. We must fix these four processes first before we can even suggest that there's a deficiency out there. Unless you fix these four processes of digestion, absorption, utilization, and elimination, you can't make an assumption that you need this as a supplement. But if you're having a symptom and it helps, okay, as long as it's not suppressive to the lymph system and doesn't create more acidosis. Too much fat can create ketosis, so you got to be careful. I always have green juices daily as well. I am in the process of getting iridology photos. Oh, good. We have some, Angela, from Australia. We do have some pictures, so we're going to send them in. We're going to do another video on your pictures for you guys, and I think we'll end it with that. And again, it's always my pleasure to give you these videos and to help educate and work with you as much as I know. I don't know everything, but I tell you, we've had a lot of years of working people through these scenarios. We've helped other practitioners to grow and become great healers of themselves. We've watched their cases and helped them with their cases through the years, and so we've definitely seen a lot. And with all of you beautiful souls tearing it up out there and the feedback we're getting, we're all growing so well that we're going to be a great force to be reckoned with, because we have the power of truth on our side and the God force. And you can't beat those two things ever. So love you all, and you all have a very blessed and fun experience in your lives. And if something's bringing you down, get rid of it. And enjoy yourselves and have fun. And love each other. That's what we're here for. And thank you guys on YouTube and all of you guys out there. You're doing well. Fran, doing well. All you guys are doing well out there. May the blessings be.